day the other day at Iowa. What were the things that stood out to him that maybe he was doing different than other guys?
Said it the worst. He said, I mean, best word was productive. Certain games are for certain backs. There was a penetrating front, and Chris was able to hit some creases and, like I said, hit some creases and go forward and be productive. So that was pretty much it. In the room, guys, we go with the guy who has the hot hand and who's productive, and that was it. Chris was showing that he was hitting the creases.
Were you guys trying to get him in more as the game went on? And he ended up with 8, I think, 8 carries. Was that just something in the fourth quarter? You were trying to, because Devion seemed to get carries down the stretch, especially.
No, but like I said, at that point, whatever players called and who's ever doing well at that point in time, that's who goes in.
With so many guys that can go for you, what's the room been like? You know, from a keeping it light, but also keeping it competitive
Chaos,
standpoint.
Man. They hate each other. You see the bags under my eyes? Grades, like, you know, I look like Barack right now. No, the room is great. I mean, the tone has been set, you know, in camp. They understand the goal of task, you know, the goal at hand, and the task is to win the Big Ten, and then hopefully from that point on, as you know, that little gold trophy. So, you know, the mantra for this university has been ever since the big man was here: the team, the team, the team. So it doesn't change. You know, you kind of put your self, you know, to the side and put the team in front. So the room is great. I mean, I love those guys. They've been absolutely a treasure. I mean, a treat to coach and a treasure for me to have. So the room's been great.
How challenging has it been for you during a game to continue that rotation based on whatever it is you base it on? Yes, because you got 4 guys. It's not like you got 2. So it seems like it would be.
I guess what makes you think it's nothing?
Is it not challenging then?
No, it's not. It's not challenging at all. It doesn't present a challenge at all.
What makes it easy?
What makes it easy is because you have 4 guys to choose from. And so whatever the defense is giving you, whatever the game flow is going, you go with that guy who has the hot hand and whatever the defense. So like I say, different guys plays different well versus different defenses. So at that point in time, you go with the guy who's doing well at that time. So it's very easy, you know.
Do the things that Devion does outside of running the football get undervalued, do you think, sometimes?
Oh, very much so. Keeping the quarterback clean, making the offensive line right every once in a while, you know, being able to pick up protections that, you know, certain guys can't see. I mean, all those things are very, very valuable, and that's one of the reasons why he gets most of the reps, because in certain situations, especially the tough situations, in those critical situations, you know, you want a guy in there that you know is going to have, you know, that you can trust and get the job done.
Though it didn't work out in the end zone, is that why he was there? Because I guess it was what was the logic to have him there?
You think too much. You go way too. I mean, it's really just the logic behind the end zone. It was at that point in time. Davion's the guy that goes in at that point, and that was what it was.
So it's his complete game that he's more mature in that level.
Yes, more mature, more as you say, on the field hours of doing those type of things, and it's not so much as also. I mean, certain guys it takes them time to get. You know, I mean, you look at guys across the board in the NFL. There are certain guys that play well in certain situations, certain zones of the field. There are certain guys who can block, certain guys that can't block. You know, so it's not just in college. It's not just in my room. You know, it's across the board in football. So, but yes, he has grown substantially in that area of being able to pick up the blitz, catch the passes, and like I say, be in the places that you need him to be, and to trust him.
A little bit of quarterback uncertainty, I guess, this week. Is that a rallying cry in your room to kind of carry the weight of the offense anymore? Or?
No, I mean, you know, the thing of it is we don't look at the quarterback going down as a rallying cry. I mean, every week we go in and week out, you know, we always look at what's our job, first and foremost. What is our job, you know, and then we kind of go and the overall game plan. And, hey, your corner's going to do well. You don't look at it as a drop-off. You don't look at it as anything different. It's the next guy in. And game normal. You know, you don't look at it as, hey, now it falls on us. To be honest with you, hell, it always falls on us. That's the way I always like to look at it, you know. So it's nothing different. Nothing different.
Every guy is different, but how long in your experience does it take for a young running back to start to become an all-around back in the way you're talking about?
Well, especially in the way we do it, and the way I've played in a system like this with Bruton, and I was also in New York, and it was kind of that way when I was here. You know, we had 4 guys, sometimes 3 guys, and it forces the young guy It absolutely forces him to get his game where it needs to be faster. I'll give you a prime example. I'm not mentioning names, but say, for instance, there's a third down call, and the guy might want to run that play. And I say, no, you know I can't trust you on third down. So it's either A, I want to be able to coach to trust me on third down, or B, stay in that same position and not play on third down. So he gets into his head like, hey, the urgency of getting better, the urgency of learning third down, the urgency of pass pointing, all those things, it expedites everything. It speeds it up. So it gets it going because everybody's buying for playing time, you know. So like the screen pass to Chris Carter. You know, everybody's like, man, that's an incredible play. I want that play. Well, work to get that play. So it pushes everybody, and it pushes the learning curve, it speeds everything up. So actually it's a good thing.
Well, why do you think that Khalid is still having success when everyone kind of knows he's getting the ball in those situations, in the short yardage and goal line?
Big boys up front.
Yeah.
It's the big boys up front. I mean, you can see it, but those guys do a great job of moving the line of scrimmage. I mean, sometimes Khalid gets the ball, and he only has to fall maybe a yard, and then he has to push to get another yard. I mean, if it's 3rd and 2, or if we're on the goal line, it's, you know, goal and 2, they push through, but you're on the line of scrimmage 1 yard, and all he has to get is 1 more yard. So you attribute that to the guys up front. I mean, they're doing a heck of a job. I mean, these guys are moving guys off the ball. I mean, it's violent. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
The numbers on Saturday overall weren't as good as they had been. That's
No.
not on them?
No, it's not on them. I mean, it's just, hey, those guys on the other side get paid too now. You know, some great coaches in this Big Ten, and it's great coaches and coordinators across the board. And you're going to have those, you know, those prototypical 3 yards in a cloud of dust games. And you just have to grind it out and churn it out and, you know, be happy with a win, or, you know, or it's, in that case, we got a loss. So you don't look at it and say, well, we lost and the numbers wasn't there. It's just like, hey, Iowa did a great job. But we had, you know, chances in there to win that game. It was just, you know, a drop ball here or something there. But you had a chance to win that game. So you don't go back and look at the numbers and say, you know, hasn't been this way all the way through. So.
Chris said last night he wants to gain weight to be stronger in pass pro. How much would you like to see in game? Where do you want to see him?
You know what? For me, I like to say naturally. Let the weight, you know, grow naturally. You know, in the weight room, maturation in the weight room, and I think that's more or less with him and Coach Tolbert. You know, I like to kind of stay out of that one. Only time I like to get into it is if the guy loses lateral movement. Like if Chris loses the lateral movement, the weight has to come off. But, you know, that's a question for Coach Tolbert. I would like for him and Coach Tolbert to sit down and kind of discuss that. But that's what he feels, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying before. He wants to be in on third down, but to him, he feels as though I need to be stronger and bigger to pick up the pass pro. So it gets guys thinking about where they need to be and the things they need to get better to be better. So that's a great example for what Chris is trying to do.
But you think he needs to be stronger, don't you?
I wouldn't say stronger. I mean, I play with guys. I mean, Charlie Garner was maybe 5'9.5", 185, and Charlie will light you up. It's just a technique and mindset going in the pass pro. Overall, more so than being a big guy. I've seen big guys get run through on pass pro. So it's not about the weight. It's about the mindset and the technique that you carry out through the pass pro and blocks. That's what Chris needs to get better at. Just, you know, understanding. High school, you have to understand. Coming from high school, maybe once or twice a pass pro. Now it's every day. You know, big guys some strong guys. 3 or 4 years under their belt weightlifting, perfecting their craft at beating guys off the edge and up the middle. So it's quite a task. It is very overwhelming to a freshman. You know, I remember my first year. I get head and face mask. I'm like, what in the hell happened to me? You know, but it's something that you want to do. It's a mindset. You know, and he's getting there. He's getting there.
O'Korn looks to run a little bit more, obviously, than Wilton. What have you seen from him in practice? Or does he look to use his leg a little bit more?
You know what, to be honest, I'm not saying this just to say it. You know, you get so focused in practice on your group that you really don't know what's going on, you know, with the other guys. And to be honest with you, from Wilt to O'Korn, I'm in practice watching my guys concentrating on what I got to do. You really don't know the difference in the quarterbacks that's in there, if that helps. And so I'm sorry if no help to you that way, but really didn't notice
So
it.
you don't think, you don't see a drop-off, is what you're saying?
No.
Or just a change?
No, it's just a change in guys. I mean, like little idiosyncrasies to the guys in the huddle, like how they call the play, the cadence and those things might be a little difference to the guys. But for me, watching my players and watching my guys do their job and handle their business, it's not like you're saying, wow, it's such a difference in quarterbacks that it's that noticeable. As I'm watching my group, it becomes evident that this is such a drop-off or such an increase, but it's pretty even.
Is the hand,
Got time for
is the
about one or two
handoff,
more?
is the handoff just a standard thing where, like, one guy doesn't do it differently?
Plug and play.
Yeah.
Each guy go in. Yep. Standard.
I'm sorry. Jim said last week that Drake would, he'd like to come back for another season. I mean, what would that mean to have Drake, a veteran, an older guy with this group?
Father time. Great. I mean, as I said before, Drake is awesome in the room. He's incredible with the younger guys. So it's like having an assistant coach in there. It'd be great to have him back. A security blanket, so to speak. It's not that he's going to be a security. I mean, he'll play, he'll do some things for us, but it's always just nice to have a guy that you don't have to really worry about. Just keep sharpening his tool, keep getting him ready, but at the same time, he's helping the younger guys get better. And then he's also, like I said, a security guy that something happens, he can go in without a flinch.
And where's Kareem right now? How is he?
Developing. I mean, like both Kingston and Kareem are still developing. They're still growing. Still growing. Some guys just take a little longer than others.
Is Kingston healthy?
Knee. I think not for sure exactly what it is, but he's getting there.